Well, hello, all of my students. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I have some breaking news. Breaking news. Well, hello, everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Jay, and if you're looking to improve your English, you are in the right place at the right time. In today's English lesson, I have an English through news lesson, and I am going to read through another English article, and I'm going to explain key vocabulary words and phrases. We're getting ready for some learning and some laughter, so I hope you're ready to have a great time because I'm looking good, I'm feeling good, and I'm smelling good. So sit tight. I will explain to you why I'm wearing a tie a little bit later. Let's dive into today's story. Trump meets oil executives to discuss Venezuela. So, executives are people that are in seats of power. They are in high positions in a company or an organization. To discuss means to have a conversation. Let's talk about it. So you might say, I want to discuss our argument last night. Or you might say, come here, son, I need to discuss your grades at school. So when you discuss, you're having a conversation. President Donald Trump, according to CNBC News, hosted top U.S. oil company leaders at the White House on Friday to talk about possible investment in Venezuela's oil industry. Okay, so let's look at this. When you host something, when you are the host, you have an event or you have an organized meeting and you are the one who invited everyone. So that makes you the host. So if I were to have a party at my house and I invited 100 of my subscribers, I would be the host. All right. Now, notice he invited them there to talk about possible investments in Venezuela. So when we talk about an investment, it is money put into a project to make it grow or earn more in the future. You put money into some organization or someone's life to cause empowerment, profit, or someone to be better. So if you were going to school, someone could invest in your education by paying for a semester. If you were to get someone a vehicle, then you would be investing in their transportation, helping make their life better. Okay? The meeting included executives from major corporations like ExxonMobil, Chevron, and ConocoPhillips. Now, these are very large and popular oil companies. Here in the United States, we know them as gas stations. Okay? Trump urged the companies to commit at least $100 billion to help revive Venezuela's oil production. Wow. He didn't ask for chump change. Now, when we say chump change, that's usually referring to a small amount of money. So if I were to stick my hand in my pocket and all I had were $2, I would say, man, that's chump change. Okay. I'm thankful for it, but it's not a lot of money. It's chump change. Okay. Now notice he urged. When you urge someone, you are influencing. You are trying to persuade. So someone can urge you to buy Bitcoin, or someone can urge you to go see a particular movie. They might say, man, I'm telling you, you need to see it. It's a good one. They are urging you or trying to persuade or influence you. Now, when you revive a person or revive a company, when you talk about reviving, it has to do with bringing back to life or strength. Something that may be dead or something that may be not doing well, you revive it. You cause life to come back into it. If I were to go unconscious, I would need you to revive me. All right. So he wants to bring back to life Venezuela's oil production. Notice this word here, production. So that word can be used in a number of ways, but here in the context of this sentence, production has to do with the process of making something, whether it's oil, some type of good or service. You are producing, you are making something, okay? Venezuela's oil production, which has fallen far below its potential after years of neglect and sanctions. So potential. Okay, when someone has potential, they have the ability to do something great. All right. So you may look at an athlete and be like, he has potential. He could be great if he keeps practicing. So Trump thinks that the oil production could be better. It has potential to do great things. All right. Now notice this word, years of neglect. All right. So when you neglect something or someone, it says that you're not paying attention to them. So for instance, my wife could feel neglected because I don't take her out on dates. She feels like I don't appreciate her. She feels that I don't love her. I neglect her. You know, I got her. We're married. We've been married for over 10 years. So, all right. So you could have a car, but if you don't drive the car, then you are neglecting the car. And the longer the car sits there, the worse condition it could become. All right. Sanctions have to do with fines that the government charges someone. A sanction, a fee, a charge. All right. He promised them total safety and government support if they chose to invest. So here's Trump saying, look, you'll get something for your money. You're going to get something back for your money if you come and invest. At the meeting, Trump said the United States has taken control of millions of barrels of previously sanctioned Venezuelan oil and would manage sales in a way that could benefit both Americans and Venezuelans. All right. So let's look at this. He said he has taken control, authority. So you control a car, or you can attempt to control someone's business. You can control your phone. All right. Or you can try to control a person. So you're taking authority. All right. Sanction, as I just said, fines or restrictions punished by law. And usually the government punishes people by charging them a fine or shutting them down. All right. Some oil executives express cautious interest. Okay. I've used this word in a couple of articles this week. When you're cautious, okay, it says that you are showing discretion. You're trying to use wisdom when you are cautious. So you might say, I cautiously use the right words when talking to the police officer because I did not want to get arrested. All right. Or I cautiously walked down the street looking for loose dogs that might chase me. Some oil executives express cautious interest, but they also said they needed strong assurances. Okay. So when a person has an assurance, it says that they have a promise that something will be safe or reliable. So Trump has asked people to invest a minimum of $100 billion, according to the article. So the investors are saying we need some assurances that we are going to get a good return on our investment. Trump is not like you're asking for a small amount of money. You're asking for $100 billion. So we need to know if we come into business with you and invest, we'll get something back for our money. Now, this move here has a lot of people wondering that this have anything to do with the president being taken by Trump. It could all be coming into clear view. Let's start back over. Some oil executives expressed cautious interest, but they also said they needed strong assurances about the legal and financial framework. I love that. A compound word, framework, okay? Framework, a system of rules and ideas that guide how something works, okay? So the makeup of a thing, all right? So you might tell me, this restaurant is making a lot of money. Why don't we open our own restaurant? And so you might say, well, I don't know the framework of running a restaurant. What will it take to run a restaurant? So remember, the framework has to do with the structure, the rules that guide how something works. Okay. Sometimes we say things look easier than what they seem because you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. You don't know the framework. Okay. Now, before we go on to the last few sentences, why am I wearing a tie? Do I look nice? Should I wear a tie more often? Let me know down in the comments section. But I had a great comment this week from a subscriber. They said, "Good job. Thanks. You are the most humorous English teacher I have ever seen. Your appearance is very like a popular presenter of a famous talk show." Oh my goodness. What is the last word you said in this program? Salut, salute, is it French? So what a compliment. They said I look like a professional presenter from a talk show. I told my wife about this comment and I said, you know what? I'm going to look like a professional on my next episode. I'm going to wear a tie. Hey, I love the comments. I let them know in my reply that, look, learning should be fun. And so I thought it would be fun to do something different and wear a tie today. And to answer your question, I say the word salud at the end, which is a little Spanish, which means cheers or great health and prosperity. So that's my way of trying to be bilingual. I would love to learn some new words down in the comments section in the language that you primarily speak. So let me know, what does cheers mean, or thank you, or prosperity and good health? What does that mean in your language? And I will try to pronounce it right and use it. Let's continue with today's lesson. The talks come after U.S. forces captured. So when you capture someone, you apprehend them. All right. You stop someone's progress. You grab a hold of someone. So I captured my loose dog in the backyard. Or the cat captured the bird and ate it. Okay, so the talks come after U.S. forces captured Venezuela's former leader, Nicolas Maduro, earlier this month. A move that changed the political situation in the country and opened the door for potential cooperation. Okay. Let's look at this sentence and what are some key words. Okay. A situation. A situation has to do with a circumstance or an event. So you might say, tell me about the situation that's going on in Minnesota. Or you might say, I heard you got fired. Tell me about that situation. Did you get fired on your day off? Did they catch you stealing boxes? Tell me about that situation. Okay. Cooperation. All right. Now, this is a word that is very common in English. When you cooperate, it means you work together towards a shared goal. Now, earlier this week, I told you about a word called collaborate. And these are synonymous. So two people can collaborate on a project. Or you and I can cooperate to get things done. So when we cooperate, we are working together. There is unity. And so you might say, look, don't give me a hard time. Would you just cooperate? All right. Would you work with me? Not against me, work with me. Potential cooperation with American companies. Officials also noted. Now, an official is a professional, okay? Someone who is a professional in their area of work. They have a specific set of skills and official. Officials also noted that reopening diplomatic relations and reestablishing the U.S. Embassy are part of border efforts to restore ties with Venezuela. All right. So when you reestablish something that was broken, something that was not working correctly, you come back and you try to repair it. You reestablish. So for instance, if there was a couple that got divorced, but then they began to talk and go on dates, and eventually they decided to reestablish their marriage. Okay, they wanted to get back together. Or if you had $100,000 and then you lost all of the money, you blew it. In other words, you spent it on different things and you messed up your credit score. Here in America, we have what's called a credit score, which proves if you are someone that pays your bills. And so you lost the money, you ruined your credit score, but then you became responsible and you decided to reestablish your credit and your finances. So you want to repair, all right? Repair. Efforts. Someone that has efforts or demonstrates efforts is someone that takes action to achieve a goal. So if you are learning English, you are making efforts to improve your English. Watching videos twice, once with the subtitles on and once with the subtitles off, you are making efforts to get better. All right. If you're trying to lose weight, you go to the gym. You may run around the track. You may lift weights. You may change your diet. You are making efforts. You are trying to reach a goal by taking and making certain actions. All right. Trump plans to meet other regional leaders. Trump plans to meet other regional leaders soon to discuss related issues. Okay. Now, a related issues, it has to do with things that are common. Okay. So he wants to meet with other leaders and talk about other business matters around oil. All right. Related things that are common with one another. So you might talk about football, but then you talk about a related sport. You may talk also about the Olympics, all right? Or you may talk about the World Cup that's coming to Atlanta because that's related to football or soccer. However, as we conclude, some industry observers remain skeptical or unsure about whether the investment plans will move forward quickly. They pointed to the challenges of rebuilding Venezuela's outdated oil infrastructure and the uncertainties of doing business there. Something that is outdated is old, okay? It's something that is no longer current. It's not modern, okay? I had to get a new iPhone because my iPhone 8 was outdated. All right? Infrastructure. Infrastructure. I pronounced that wrong. Infrastructure. All right? A basic physical system a country needs, like oil facilities. So infrastructure is synonymous with framework. It has to do with the interworking of things, okay? When something is uncertain, uncertainties have to do with things that are not known for sure or that can change, okay? So your outlook for this year may be uncertain. You have plans, you have goals, but you don't know what's going to happen in totality in 2026. There is a cloud of uncertainty, okay? The stock market is filled with uncertainty because it's up and down and up and down. It's not going in one direction constantly. Uncertainty. Let's look at our last sentence, and then we'll just about be done. Despite these concerns, the White House meeting showed strong interest from both government and industry in expanding Venezuela's oil production and energy influence. Wow, that's amazing. So now we see, last week, it was all about the president being taken to the United States. And now we see that it's talk about money. Oh, now it's all about some money talk now. So before we conclude, let's read through without stopping, and let's see if you can comprehend what I'm reading. And don't worry, sometimes when you read, you may mispronunciate a word. That's a part of speaking any language, and it's all right as long as you are being understood when you're talking, okay? Now, you want to do your best, but sometimes we make mistakes, and that's a part of talking, communicating, and life, okay? President Donald Trump hosted top U.S. oil company leaders at the White House on Friday to talk about possible investment in Venezuela's oil industry. The meeting included executives from major corporations like ExxonMobil, Chevron, and ConocoPhillips, among others. Trump urged the companies to commit at least $100 billion to help revive Venezuela's oil production, which has fallen far below its potential after years of neglect and sanctions. He promised them total safety and government support if they chose to invest. At the meeting, Trump said the United States had taken control of millions of barrels of previously sanctioned Venezuelan oil and would manage sales in a way that could benefit both Americans and Venezuelans. Some of the oil executives expressed cautious interest, but they also said they needed strong assurances about the legal and financial framework for investing so much money in a risky market. The talks come after U.S. forces captured Venezuela's former leader, Nicolas Maduro, earlier this month, a move that changed the political situation in the country and opened the door for political cooperation with American companies. Officials also noted that reopening diplomatic relationships and reestablishing the U.S. Embassy are part of broader efforts to restore ties with Venezuela. Trump plans to meet other regional leaders soon to discuss related issues. However, some industry observers remain skeptical about whether the investment plans will move forward quickly. They pointed to the challenges of rebuilding Venezuela's outdated oil infrastructure and the uncertainties of doing business there. Despite these concerns, the White House meeting showed strong interest from both government and industry in expanding Venezuela's oil production and energy influence. All right, that's going to do it for today's lesson. Now, don't forget, if you are really serious about improving your English, and I have been getting messages from some of you, you've been doing what I've been saying and you can see improvement. Keep going. Don't stop. Consistency is key. Do something every day so it becomes a part of you to improve your English. Just because you don't speak quickly, that does not mean you're not speaking in a way that people can understand. So as always, make sure you watch the videos, the lessons, at least twice. I know they're a little lengthy, but figure out a way that works for you. All right? Once with the subtitles and once with the subtitles off. Also, you want to make sure that you take at least 2 of the many words I went over today and try to use them in a conversation within the next week. You may have to take notes. You may have to use your phone to keep up with certain words, but it's all about making the effort. Remember, we talked about effort today, okay? If you ever have any questions, just let me know down in the comment section. I will do my best to answer your question. I also have a link in the comment section that you can send me a question. Just click on the link and you can send me a question there. And if today's lesson has been a help to you, make sure you share it with a friend. I try to make videos like this every day to help you to transform your English communication. I really enjoy teaching you guys. I've had a lot of fun. Don't forget to let me know a word that I can use at the end of one of my episodes. And as always, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope you join me on my next English lesson. Salut!